Hello everyone, it's me Anupa, and today I'm going to teach you about the ribs. Ribs are the bones. They are the carved bones of the thorax, and there are altogether 12 bones on 12 ribs on either side of the skeleton. Either side of the sternum, and the ribs are anteriorly attached to the sternum, and the posteriorly they are attached to the vertebra, thoracic vertebra. And the ribs they are curved bone. Their anterior end is broader, but the posterior end is narrower, and the length of the ribs increases from 1 to 10, and then after 10 the length gradually decreases. The length of the ribs gradually decreases, and the ribs are obliquely placed in the thoracic skeleton. Why? Because the level of anterior attachment of the ribs and the posterior attachment of the ribs is not in the same plane. They are the posterior end are attached higher than the anterior end. And talking about the classification of ribs, we classify ribs differently. First classification, we have classification on the basis of attachment to the sternum. We have 3 types on the basis of attachment. One is true ribs. They are from first to 7. They are true ribs because they are attached anterior to costal cartilage and through costal cartilage to the sternum, and posteriorly they are attached to the vertebrae. So these true ribs are also called vertebro-sternal ribs. And the next type we have false ribs. Under false ribs we have 2 types. One is true false ribs and another is floating ribs. The false ribs are, why false ribs? Because they are not attached directly to the sternum. Posteriorly they are attached to vertebrae, but anteriorly they are attached to the costal cartilage of the higher ribs. And the number of ribs, false ribs are 8, 9 and 10. 3 we have false ribs. The anterior end of these 3 ribs attaches to the costal cartilage of sternum. It does not attach directly to the sternum, but rather attaches to the costal cartilage. So they are also called vertebrochondral ribs. And the next one, third one, we have the floating ribs. Why they are floating ribs? Because their posterior ends are obviously attached to the vertebra, but the anterior end is not attached to any of the structure, neither costal cartilage nor sternum. So their anterior end are literally floating. So they are called floating ribs or vertebral ribs. Okay, this was on the basis of attachment with the sternum. Now we have another classification which is on the basis of morphology or structure of the ribs. On the basis of structure we have 2 classes. It's classified into 2 types. One is atypical and another is typical ribs. Atypical ribs, they are different, they have different structure. They are totally different from each other. And the typical ribs, they are similar structure, and the typical ribs are third ribs to 9 rib. Third to 9 are typical rib, and atypical rib, they are first, second, 10, 11 and 12. We have 5 atypical rib and 3 and 7 typical ribs. And this is all about the classification of ribs.